Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy world. In the times of COVID-19, people have been living and looking forward to stimulus checks to help them get out of financial binds. You do not have to do that. You can also help yourself by clearing off any debts and having good credit to put yourself in a better situation during and when COVID-19 is over. To do so, you could go to www.transparentcreditrepair.com or you can call them at 862-250-5122. It is better to have good credit than no credit or bad debt on your name. You can tell them Heritage Hip Hop sent you. But first, you have to go to www.transparentcreditrepair.com or call 862-250-5122. This episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, we go overseas to Australia. And in Australia, they got a special movement going on. Good music is coming out of there, and we have one of the premier new faces coming from Australia. Her name is Lady P. Not only is she a fresh face with a fresh sound, this girl can spit. She is nice, and she is creating a buzz by forging her own sound, by sharing her own experiences, not only in her music, but in her story. Her come up, aka glow up, is something that should be taken. You gotta take notes on this one. It is very special, very, very special. And at the end of this interview, I'm going to come back with my commentary. But first, make sure you stay tuned and plug in.
This call is now being recorded.
All right, here we go. 3, 2. Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome back to Heritage Hip Hop. In this episode, we are going across the waters. COVID cannot stop us because we bring the best of the best to the platform. Please introduce yourself to everybody on the line, please.
Thank you. It's Lady P from Sydney, Australia. How is everybody doing?
They're excited to hear from you. And after the post I'm going to put up before the post I put up before this, you're going to see why. Let's have a little bit of fun. Obviously, you're from Australia, and Australia is known for lots of things. Tell us about the music that comes from Australia and what makes it pop right now.
Okay. The Australian music scene, at the moment, I think it's still pretty fresh. So in my generation and my knowledge for Australian rap music first came from Cursor back in 2009. Now, there's rappers who still carry that same, that same style, that same Aussie hip-hop with the heavy accent, and that's seen by Rops One, Complete Perth, and that Kid Curvey. Another popular style here are drill rappers. So that's your artists like 1-4, Hooligan Hef, and the HP Boys. Then there's Australian rappers who open the doors in different lights. So, for example, Chillin' It in Australia represents Australia well, but isn't too intense with the Australian accent like Rops One would, for example. Then there's Young and Lit, who sings and raps. He's kind of a sing rapper. And then there's the top of the chain, Kid Leroy. And he has the most exposure and the most growth in Australia, but he doesn't even rap in an Australian accent. So, yeah, I think the music industry scene here is still pretty new, still pretty fresh, but those three people have opened the doors for Australia and their artists. So everybody's trying to get in there, but everyone's, I just still feel like it's pretty new, and especially for a female coming into this scene, it's extra new. So it's all just a big learning curve, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. The thing is, when you talk about Australia, everybody focuses on Melbourne and you talk about the big opera scene. So what is the difference between Sydney and Melbourne for people who don't know?
For my generation especially, so Melbourne definitely took the cake and has the cake and had that stand on rap scene and hip hop, but now not so much so. So Chillin' It, for example, he's from Punchbowl in Sydney. So, and he has opened up the doors like greatly for us. So I think Sydney and Melbourne are quietly, conjoined between one another. And I only went up to Melbourne in February, and their love for hip hop and everything like that, and their style is actually quite similar. So just in my perspective, my point of view, there's not really much difference. But what I do notice, the only difference that I know is that Melbourne, they have an American, like they're very Americanized and influenced by American rap.
And you are very influenced by American rap. I've seen in other interviews. I've seen in other interviews you talk about your influences, but you don't rap like your influences. You actually have an older style. Tell me, how did you find your voice in your own style and not be a copycat?
Well, I believe that I, am very Americanized. The reason why I got into rap music was because of Nicki Minaj. All right, so she is my biggest influence. But and I believe, so I learned from her. I spent 5 years rapping the way that she does. So that's that New York accent, and I can pull it off really well, and that's what's natural to me. But when I came out as Lady P, I've been in the Australian music industry for about 5 months now as Lady P, and Australians didn't, like that accent. It wasn't really favoured, because I believe that Australian rap is very prideful of its own language, of its own culture, of its own accent. So I spent 5 months adjusting that accent and learning about that culture. So now I kind of rap half American and half Australian, because the true Australian accent is very potent, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, strong. Very strong.
Oh, yes. Very strong, and it's not me. So I've tried to find, a nice middle, and what I pride myself in, is being versatile. So I want to put myself out there as Lady P, as being the artist that can do it all. You want an American accent? Sure, I can do that. You want an Australian? Yep, I can do that too. What do you want? Do you want me to sing? Do you want me to rap? Yeah, sure. Which genre? You want me to dance too? Because I can do that as well. You know what I mean? I want to pride myself in being versatile. So the accent is, I believe that I rap in however I want to rap, but what makes Lady P is the versatility. So
that's why you're going to make it, is because not only do you know how to pivot, you also know how to stay true to your own desire. Most artists want to fit in so bad they will cut their desire into their personality. Personally speaking, what do you bring to music that makes music so dope that they have to have Lady P?
It's the versatility. I want to be able to do it all. I want to be able to complete that, that song with me, because I can make the song what they want. Any concept that person has for that song, you tell me, I'll be able to do that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I want to introduce you to some producers, because you are nice. You got some definite skill to you, and I think I want to hear you on some different type of music. Because one thing I could tell, most new people are trendy, and they don't really do the homework to know how dope they are. You feel me?
Yeah, I do.
Well, let's talk about something that you did that really was really impressive. You said you've been in the music for about 5 months, and you've been dropping a song about every month now. You got I Get Crazy, Curve the Consort, you got Orbital. You got 3 songs that are right there for people who want to stream. We tell people to purchase, but if they want to stream, they can, right? And in 3 different tracks, you have 3 different styles of track. How do you pick your music?
Okay. So I'll just give you a little bit of background, because there's a couple of things that you said, that I've been in the music industry for 5 months, yes, that is true as Lady P, but my background stretches way beyond that. So I started off as a singer, and I was doing that, by the age of 4. I'm half Filipino, so, I was born and raised a singer. And my father has a heavy influence in music. He used to be a sound system operator for live bands for about 20 years. He was the one who introduced me into music. I was in training, performing arts centres as a singer. I performed in a rock band. I was a lead singer for a band, did rock songs at other training centres. I did pop, power ballads, R&B, and I was a dancer for about 8 years as well. So, I have learned through my childhood a different array of music genres. So I think that influenced me in, being able to do everything and being versatile as well. So that's how I've grown up. The style of songs that I've chosen, yes, I Get Crazy, Curve the Consort, and Orbital. I want to bring out to people, the main concept of I Get Crazy was I wanted people to have a representation of me. So that's, the 3 different concepts in that song is snake woman, independent, bossy lady, and the motorbike chick. You know what I mean? So I grew up in the bush with reptiles. I'm never scared of them. My dad will catch something and bring home a lizard or a snake or something. And at the moment, I own 4 snakes. So, that's that. And then independent lady, of course, that's how my mother raised me. I learned how to be strong and hustle, and it's helped me a lot being in the industry. And the motorbikes is my hobby. My dad rides, my brother rides, my cousin rides, and I ride. So, the purpose of that song was, the message. I wanted people to have insight of who I was, who Lady P is. The second song, Curve the Consort, portrays, that's a kind of like a little diva-licious kind of song, I don't need no man, I live a comfortable lifestyle without him, you know what I'm saying? And then Orbital has a different kind of message altogether, incorporates my singing and my rapping and, puts, like it's about heartache, so it gives me that little vulnerability look as well, So they're all 3 different concepts, and I believe it's, good to be versatile in my music as well. That's all I want to portray, something different each time. And I'm working on, loads of different tracks which have a different style. So some of them are trap, some of them are grime, some of them, like they're more singing, more rapping. So, yeah, each song is just different. But I want to be able to, have, grasp the concept of doing a lot of different things and, being able to do it all.
Yes, you do. And that's why I say you're going to make it. Because a lot of people go to music like music is their savior, when all music is a door. And when you open that door, you have to be brave enough to go through it to realize that the world is bigger than just sound. Your voice is a sound. Your style of dress is a sound. You have background noise, you have foreground noise. But the most important thing is your pitch. That could be your personality or your projection. You agree?
I agree, yeah.
So understanding that, you being able to be a complete artist and not just a genre artist makes you fascinating. I've seen you sing in English, Italian, French, Filipino. I've seen it.
Yes,
So,
yes, I did.
and you did different styles in every language. So I ask you this. This is a question I can't ask most people, but I will ask you this. What was the hardest part about your mastery of sound rather than your concept of sound?
The mastery of sound.
Hard question.
Sorry, you tell me good questions. It's a hard question. The mastery of sound rather than the concept. Can you give me some more information?
Well, basically, I said mastery of sound because when you sung in every language, you sung a different style, which means you have studied sound. See, most people that sing nowadays can't sing. They're fucking nasal. Part of my language, they suck. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm not really too big into R&B and people singing, because I don't think most people can sing. It's the people that can sing that you realize they're the music, and the beat or the music highlights them. You were able to capture not only your voice, but you set the mood in every language that you set. That's called mastery of sound.
Okay. I think, because I've been singing at such a young age, being able to, have that quality in my sound and my voice is, to me, it's like second nature. It's something that I have to do. I'm not going to have a beat that's, for example, very operatic, and then start singing like a heavy metal, waspy kind of voice on top of that. I try and suit the music style, with my voice, because obviously it matches, it makes sense. You're not going to do anything different to that. And with each genre, each style, then, you learn and develop what suits the song and what suits the song well. And it's not only your voice, you learn of, how to deliver those emotions and things like that. You know what I mean? You're not going to sing it, for example, in a sexy way on top of a R&B kind of song, because it doesn't match. It's all about the voice, it's all about the emotions, it's all about your delivery, and you learn that at a young age. So.
You are a true singer. Congratulations.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm honored, and I'm honored to have heard your voice. Your voice is beautiful. Like I said,
thank you.
Besides your rapping and your wordplay, your voice inflections, the way you hit your pitches and your peaks are very timed, and your breath control is very well done. So when you perform, I see you go crazy. You yell at the crowd yelling back. You get that energy. How does performing help make you a better artist?
I think performing's very important, purely because of the fact that you get to connect with your audience. As an artist, your audience is what makes you as your artist. So you need to give back to them, and you can do that, obviously, easiest way, through live performance. It's really important to get yourself out there, because anybody can perform a rap song, sitting, recording at the back of a computer screen. You know what I mean? So I think performing also gives an artist that ability to be able to connect, and vice versa. Your fans are able to connect with you. They're right there. So yeah, I think live performing is very important, and very important for both yourself and the fans.
See, being an artist means that you're always on stage, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're in a performance, or you just recognize the beauty that helps you create. How do you balance your creativity with your artistry?
Creativity in regards to artistry, in regards to, making music, like creating my music in regards to going out there and performing my music.
Any way you want to take the question. Why don't you just tell me what you think?
I'm going. Hopefully that's right. So I'm gonna take it in that way.
No, it's perfect. Whatever you say is perfect. Go right ahead.
Too kind. Okay, so at the moment, all I do is music. So I am solely devoted to music right now, and I have been for about 5 months. So I'm completely, what I'm working on now is, I'm starting an 18-track album. So Orbital is actually the first. Orbital's the first single of my album. So I'm always like, I treat music as a job. I'm always working, always researching about the industry, always finding, working on my hustle, working on my grind. So being able to perform as well, especially in this, uncertain times as well. I've had a lot of opportunity to be able to work and learn and educate myself. So performing is basically a luxury, which I definitely miss right now. But, you know, I think once it picks back up again, I'll have to, you know, reevaluate, try and find a different level, you know, when can I start, you know, sit down and write music, and when can I go out and perform, because I always get writer's block, and, you know, it's just like a particular day. I wake up and I'll be, you know, be able to write real quick, but then other days, not so much, you know. So, yeah, it's just finding the right balance, finding the right everything right now, you know. So, but right now it's good. I've been able to, you know, really educate myself on the industry and, you know, on my craft right now. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah, be careful with the industry. But besides that, in New Jersey, because that's where I am, you have some people who follow you and who love your music. You know, and there's some artists that I know, that I see follow your page, that I know, and they're very impressed by not only your sound, but how you even get your look together in the video. So in understanding that, my dream is to go international. So now you're my tour guide. If I go to Australia and I meet Lady P, what do I do? What do I do to get grafted into the Australian hip hop or music culture? What do I have to do?
I think it's staying true to yourself, you know. So the things that I found, like, I feel like I started off on the wrong, not necessarily the wrong foot, but with a different advantage, because I felt like I had to redevelop myself and reevaluate myself, because I came into the scene as a little Nicki Minaj, you know, and, you know, Australians are like, oh, you know, that I know that's not you, you know. So it was, I had to reevaluate, refine myself in when other artists, when they come out, they already know who they are, you know. If you, for example, came down to Australia, as long as you're true to you, then I believe that people will love you. I now know that. I now know what I stand for. I know what I want Lady P to be, and what I want people to see me as, you know. So as long as you're true to you, you know, you've got good craft, then, you know, people will love you nonetheless. And always staying humble, you know.
Of course, you got it. And let that be a lesson to everybody out here. Don't go somewhere trying to be someone else. Always be yourself. God made you perfect. Right, yeah. You got to highlight your perfection in your own life and not copying anybody else's things. You understand me? All right.
Yeah.
So, man.
Right.
So in hearing your voice, you said Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is one of the greats. We gotta give her respect. But a lot of and Little Kim, you said, I hear more Little Kim in you than Nicki, which is kind of weird because they're the same person, almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very close.
But a lot of the stuff that I hear from you, I'm more of a historian when it comes to hip hop. I'm a connoisseur. I listen to everybody at least once to give them fair observation. And a lot of the stuff that comes from your music, you're a little different. Those may be your influences, but you're a little different to me. I want to throw some names out to you. I want to know if you ever heard of these names. Have you ever heard? Of course, you heard of Lauryn Hill, correct?
Lauryn Hill?
Yes.
No.
So Lauryn Hill is one of the greatest rappers of all time, performers. She sings and she raps.
All right, good.
You have kind of taking the steps into that type of genre and career. I would love for you to look up Lauryn Hill, and I think you'll see why I picked that out in certain things that you have sung on your Instagram, and even the way you play the piano. Your instrumentation is really artistic. And Lauryn Hill is a woman who, when she dropped her album, she changed the game with not only a message, but the artistic style and how not only she rapped, but she sung as well.
Okay,
it kind of killed part of my interview.
Yeah,
it kind of killed part of my interview because I hoped you heard of Lauryn Hill.
I'm sorry.
It's good. But if you listen to the miseducation of Lauryn Hill and even her stuff with the Fugees, that is album called The Score, I think you will love it because, like I said, you're grafting yourself as a rapper when you're more. I could see you in acting. I could see you writing and composing instead of just writing lyrics to a beat. I think I see that much more in you, and it was inspiring. So that's what I got from you.
Well, thank you.
You know, heritage hip hop has always been about investing into the artist, because I'm not here to listen to your beats and say, hey, you're great, you're wonderful, you're this. Some people music I don't like, and some people I like them as people more than their music. From what I got from you, you are a creator who's taken her beginning steps and understanding that her pen and her canvas is bigger than the paper and the page. You're special. And I want you to never to doubt yourself. So it's a pleasure. I'm very thankful. Thank you so much for letting me get a chance to talk to you.
No problem. No, thank you. Your words are very inspiring. You ask good questions, you know, and this is my first podcast from, you know, the US. So I'm eternally grateful, and I'll definitely look into this Lauryn Hill. I'm intrigued. You've got me intrigued.
Yes, do it, please. And when you come to the States, look us up, invite us, and we'll come out there. We'll have a good time. You understand?
Yeah,
So
you can be my tour guide this time, huh?
Oh yeah, I'll take you everywhere. Believe me, I'll show you some real serious music, especially in Jersey. And New York is cool, but New Jersey's where we rest at. So before we finish out the interview, I want you to give everybody up social media, and then we're going to have some fun with our rapid fire questions. Okay?
All right, sounds good. So, I won't give you my website because everything there is too long, but you can find me on YouTube and on Facebook as Lady P, and my Instagram is ladyp.official.
All right, now let's have some fun. Now, the rapid fire questions I ask are the most important questions I ask in the interview. This is how I close it out. I don't care about who's sexy to you, what your favorite food is. That's not my business. These questions are basically to understand you as the artist and show the world your depth and your understanding of your music. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. Question number 1. What song perfectly sums up your life? And it's a song that you did not make.
A song that I did not make. Ooh, that's a hard one. There's so many.
Yeah, of course.
Songs. Every song has a different purpose, and my life is different.
All right. Well,
it incorporates a lot of different things.
Okay. Well, give me 3 then, because you got different phases. Give me 3 phases.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's cool. So one of them would be Beyonce, Diva. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
What?
You that chick. Heard the consort. I got you. All right. Which is a great video, by the way. Great video, by the way.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of something like, you know, so I get crazy because I think that perfectly defines, you know, who I am. So I'm like, ooh, quickly, what can I use? So one of those, I'll put Nicki Minaj.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna do Right Through Me. I really like that concept, and I have a heart for my ex, so you know he really played a big part in my life, and I think he's defined me really well. You know, he made me learn. He made me, you know, learn how to compromise, learn how to, you know, love myself, learn how to do all these different things, and it's all from, you know, a second person. So he helped me define me really well. So, you know, I'll give that one to him. And I have no idea.
You want to stop there?
Yeah, I see that. the meeting will go over time if I have to think about it. Yeah.
Okay. Here's my second question. The most beautiful thing about a woman is underrated. It's not her look. It's her distinction and how she carries her voice and her presence. What is the strongest thing about you when you hit the stage before you even do your music?
I think it's definitely, the look of being independent, right? So being able to be, portray yourself, have that self-respect, to carry yourself, with your head held high, people get that vision from you the moment you don't even need to say a word, so being able to believe in yourself, have that self-respect and, love yourself that much, I think, is important. Yeah.
That's dope. I like that answer. My next question is, music carries so many different messages. In a male-dominated industry, what was the most important lesson you learned about yourself, or that you're learning about yourself, that all people need to carry within their creative genius?
The important message in regards to men, I think it definitely is, a man's world. But we offer, something different to the table. I believe that men really like to hear, they don't really like to hear the fact that, we like to beat them, or we want to, kill them at their craft or anything like that. I think we should be, come out there as supportive of, of the man, be able to do things hand in hand. You know what I mean?
See, in music today, the women are outshooting the men by far. There's a lot of great women out there doing music, and I think it's unfair that because they're women and they don't have the quote unquote male backing, they're being lost. And I think that's very sad. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Cardi B, a lot of people would not have even listened to a lot of underground women, because she shouted them out. Because a lot of people or men in the industry don't shout out women. Why do you think men don't shout women out unless they're signed to them?
It could be for multiple different reasons, but I don't think that, the game was made to, and I don't even think it's directed at women. I don't see many boys shouting even other boys out. They're just being an artist within itself. It's a very competitive game. You know what I mean? Unless they're signed, or they're boys that aren't getting, as much, fight on them. Then there's not really much shouting anybody out. So I highly doubt that they're going to be shouting any women out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's sad. I think that's the main thing about music that disgusts me when it comes to the industry, is that it's like a bad drug game. It's like, these are my people and they're only going to listen to me and not you. And that's not how music is. Music is not meant for that. Pardon the reference, porn is more successful than music, because somebody can be naked and say, if you like me, look at her. If you like me, look at him. Well, then we'll do something together. And then that's how the money gets circulated. But unfortunately, we have a pit fight type of mentality where you can make great music and somebody else can make great music, and instead of putting you together to tour and make a bigger venue, people rather put you against each other, and that kills the vibes. So I hope you never go through that in your career.
Exactly, but I think that's how the career is built. I think they're all, that's what everybody's like around here, So it's very, I feel like I'm stepping into an industry that is very, very catty like that, So luckily I'm strong, I do me, I keep to myself, I don't want to, I don't want to think.
I understand.
But I think it's definitely a world that has a little bit of,
Yeah, I get it.
The scene, but, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why they'll all fail. You'll survive. Don't you worry about it. Here's my next question, all right? Since we talked about shouting out and things like that, there's people who collab, right? And I want to ask you, if you could make your perfect song, who would you collab with and who would do the music? Who would do the beat?
The beat right now, there's no one in particular. A beat really writes my song, so I can't go out and write lyrics just off the top of the dome. I've never been that person. But if I hear a beat that I truly love, then the lyrics just fall out like paper. Like it just falls out, and I can write a storm. So yeah, it just depends on the beat, and there's millions of different beat makers out there. I've worked with Paxis on the beat, and I believe he is very talented, and I believe that he knows me, so he would be able to, make something that's to my flavour. He'll know what I like. So if it was a particular person, it would be Paxis on the beat here. But
Nice.
in saying that, I love any type of song will be able to trigger me just, if I like it that much, So I'm not excluding everybody else in saying that as well. And there's heaps of different artists, in particular in Australia, or just anyone in general. Did you want?
This is your answer. You can pick whoever you want. I'm not going to limit you. Go right ahead.
Of course, it would be, if I was to collab with anybody, we'll do overseas. So I reckon Nicki Minaj, of course. I'd love to do a collab with her, Beyonce, and oh yeah, I like my girls. That would be a decent collab. And
That's cool.
In Australia, I like Young and Lips. So he also, who I mentioned before, he sings and raps. So, he would be, we'll be able to make a banger with that one. And I work with another artist closely. He was the one who taught me about Australian rap. He's been there with me for day one, and he's also on the song Orbital. So he's Marty, and I'd like to share my success with him as well, because he did the same for me. So yeah, me, Young Lips, and Marty. That would be a good one.
Well, tell them. Well, you could tell all of them they're welcome to come on Heritage Hip Hop, and we'll interview them and listen to their music as well, and expose them to the world. No problem.
Yes, definitely. Have a listen.
I would love to talk to them. Let's continue. Well, some of my questions are that well-versed type of hip-hop thing. I want to go a different way with you. We talked about the song that perfectly completes your life. What is the album that touches your soul every time you hear it?
Particular to that artist?
No, just give me an album that touches your soul. It could be any genre. It doesn't matter. We don't have to limit ourselves.
Okay, all right. I take great inspiration from, Nicki Minaj's first album, Pink Friday. That's how I learnt about the scene. That's how I got into rap music to begin with. That everything that I learn from people, I highly regard. So that album has taught me, lots of different things. In that album, you have lots of different genres, and different styles of music. And yeah, that if I was to choose any album, that would be the one that I, have learnt the most education from. The one, yeah, that's it. Period.
Okay, that's what's up. That's good. All right. Well, everybody out there that's listening to Heritage Hip Hop, thank you for listening. We're going to go into our final question with Lady P. And here we go. Lady P is going to be one of the top artists in the game within the next 2 years. Right? And your career is going to span many years. But unfortunately, there's going to be a time when you're not going to be on this planet anymore, and you're going to pass away. And in like the year 3,512, it's a very specific number for a reason. I don't know why, it just came up. But in the year 3,512, there's going to be a great earthquake, and somebody's going to find your music. And when that person finds your music, you're going to change their life. What is the legacy that you left behind on the world, by doing music that made the world better?
I hope when people find me, they will, I'll be able to leave behind the ability, to say that I had my self-respect. I want people to see the fact that I'm independent. I want people to see that I kept motivated, to keep dreaming, to never quit, to stay humble, and, hopefully through music to provide education as well, because I think it's important to give back to, your fans and your listeners. Everybody is an artist. For the people that make it and are artists, I see a lot of people just, savoring all that success and that, all the knowledge for themselves. But I think that it's important to be able to give back and, provide that education. So if hopefully I do make it somewhere, I would want people to have that education from me as well, how I got there, how, what music is all about to me, how I define myself, how I made it, I want to give people insight to that. So hopefully that's something I can do, once I find more foot in the future.
Well, you're going to have it. We ask the Most High to bless you in your music and make sure that everybody out there who's listening to this, please stream her music if you just want to find out who she is. But when you love the songs, buy the music, because she's an artist that's worth investing in. Curve the Consort is my joint, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, we want everybody out there to get fair assessment of their music. And I mean, like I said, I don't put my name on everything, but I do say that you are somebody who has not only the potential, but you have the drive to be successful, and I wish you to get all the major success in the world. All right?
Well, thank you, Kareem. Thank you.
All right. So everybody out there that's listening, be safe. COVID has changed the world, but it doesn't have to take you out. Just like Lady P has said before, she's that bad diva chick, and she don't need nobody to take care of her, but we want you to take care of yourselves just the same way. Please stay safe during this COVID time and be careful. The world is a better place with you in it, so please stay alive. And with that, we say peace, and we out.
Thank you once again for listening to our Heritage Hip Hop Podcast episode with Lady P, a great up-and-coming MC from Australia. Like we said, Sydney, Melbourne, stand up. Also the Philippines, we got a representative for you as well. The thing I want everybody to walk away when it comes to this podcast and this interview is this. No matter where you're from, you can be dope, and don't let anybody tell you that you're not. Hip-hop is a worldwide phenomenon. Though it started with the persecution and pain of the inner city, it has taught the world that your voice is important and expression is the key to survival. So no matter what coast you're on, no matter where you come from, it's how you express yourself and your connection to the truth of who you are that makes you the great individual that the Most High planned for you to become. With that being said, we're going to close out this podcast by giving a shout out to everyone who helps, supports, and makes this podcast happen. Shout out to Fatty's Place, FADDYSPLACE. You can follow them on Instagram. They are virtual assistants that helps make your social media presence pop. So if you want some help with your social media presence, website design, anything of that nature, check out Fatty's Place on Instagram. We have Fire Jaws, an MC who is prolific at marketing, promotion, and placement. You can contact him on Instagram at FIREJAWS. He is the creator of Wildfire Marketing and Promotions. We have Diamonds Entertainment LLC, the other side of hip-hop, which is more than music, just like us, but it's more fashion, sports, and society related. You can follow DIEMENZ Entertainment LLC on Instagram. We have The Big A Show, which I am the co-host of, and the main star is Adiyar. You can follow The Big A Show on YouTube at AHDAYAR. Heritage Hip Hop also has apparel. If you would like to help us, and by supporting this podcast, you can make a donation to our Cash App, which is $KAREVYAH. Once again, that's KAREVYAH. Or you can buy apparel from our store, which is at www.storefrontier.com/ Heritage Hip Hop. We have some pieces there that represent New Jersey and Jersey hip hop, period, because that's where we're from. Thank you once again for listening to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Stay safe during Corona. There are people who are passing away around us and about us, and I would love for you to stay around and keep your light into the world. The Most High said He made us to shine, not to hide. So please take care of yourself and make your light shine bright to inspire others with what you say and what you do. Don't just live and dim your own light by not caring about yourself and other people around you. Stay safe, everybody. And with that being said, may the Most High bless you all. Peace. And we out.